You exercise really, really hard, really hard. You put it in, you put in the time, you eat right. And then that moment at the end of the week, at the end of 2 weeks, sometimes 30 days, you go and you step on the scale and you do not get the feedback that you were hoping for. What happens? What happens when you know you've eaten right, you've exercised a good amount of time, you've done everything right, you missed out, you skipped the cake, I mean, you did it all, and then you step on the scale and it does not move in a direction? What if when you do it, the weight goes up a pound or two? What if the weight's the exact same? What if you lose 1 pound? The scale, hear me on this, the scale can mentally put you in jail, keep you in jail, and play games with you. It's like an emotional roller coaster. Over the years, I've had clients tell me that they would get on the scale 3, 4, 5 times in one day. Then you have those clients that get on the scale every morning. Unbelievable. And it's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It really comes down to us becoming knowledgeable, educated, aware of what's really going on with your body when you step on the scale. So I'm going to share with you over an 8-part series everything that I understand about the scale, and many kinesiologists and fitness professionals, people who are in the weight loss world, we all get it. I'm going to share with you the truth, the healthy truth. The scale is not your friend. It's like sleeping with the enemy, and the enemy is in the bathroom. Think about the fact that many people, their day is ruined after getting on the scale. They wake up feeling good, good night's sleep. They go in the bathroom. All right, they check, and it does not give them the feedback that they want. And now they are off to a day of just feeling defeated, rejected, frustrated, and they're just pissed off. And many times people are doing really good, but they don't know because they're monitoring their progress with what they get from a scale. And I'm talking about weight. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time because this is an 8-part, but this is the setup that if you can think about and get this, you will set yourself free. Seriously. Right? Like I work with quite a few people in the space of weight loss. We do clinical trials. I have these private clients that I work with. We're with groups. And I see it across the board. It doesn't matter what the ethnicity is. It doesn't matter what the education level is. They come in and they look at that scale. So consider this. Anyone who understands blood glucose, fasting glucose, knows that if it's elevated, meaning moving you into a place where you're becoming pre-diabetic, insulin resistant, now you're type 2 diabetic, imagine the fasting glucose number coming down. Okay. That sounds good to me. Imagine that the body fat percentage starts to come down. Sounds great to me. However, that's just a number, right? It's kind of like when people go to their doctor and they find out, that their blood pressure's high. They give them that number. Their cholesterol's high. They give them those numbers, and people nod, but they don't understand what those numbers mean. And I know that when I say body fat percentage went down, many people, they look at you and they go, okay, well, that's good. But they don't get that. They don't understand that unless you're in the space. So as part of this series, my goal is to bring clarity to that. So imagine, okay, glucose is down, body fat percentage is down, and then the waist gets smaller. Let's say the waist is down an inch or two in 1 week. But all of that means nothing for a lot of people when they look at that scale and it does not move the way they want it to move. But all those other parts are great, but they're fixated on the scale. And the one measurement that doesn't really mean anything, but we need it to understand body composition and body fat percentage. The thing that doesn't mean anything is the scale as it pertains to your weight. People will be fixated on that. It will ruin their day. I have watched people improve their glucose reduce their waistline, tell me verbally that they feel great. They feel good. They feel like inches are coming off their body, but they look at that scale, man, and it doesn't move. That's not good. So why is that? Why is it that we think that way? Well, that's my goal, is to give you clarity, the education to understand what really is important. So let's have a little bit of fun in a short period of time. My goal is to share with you maybe a few things that you're not aware of. And then when I do part 2, I will build on. And if you're with me from part 1 to part 8, you can break away from the restrictions, the chains that are keeping you in what we refer to as a diet mentality. And if you don't know what that is, you will. Okay. So, one, I'm a big believer in what Tony Robbins taught me years ago. And that is, if you want to get someone to look at something differently, you must create doubt in what they currently believe in. And if you can create doubt in what they currently believe in, you can open them up to be interested or to welcome some fresh information. And then you back it up. Okay. So I'm not just going to say the scale is weak and the scale doesn't mean anything, because it still means something to a lot of people. Okay. But there's 3 things that I want you to understand. And then we're going to dive into the first main thing I want you to get. Number 1, there is this thing called the body mass index, BMI. It is the number 1 method of acquiring information, data on individuals around the world. And with this data, this formula, we are defining people as being overweight, obese, unhealthy, high risk, called the BMI. What if I told you that the BMI was created in the 1830s? It was created by a young man by the name of Adolphe Quetelet. He was a mathematician, and he came up with this formula, almost like Stepford Wives, a formula that would say, okay, if I know your height and I have these calculations, we now know if you're overweight or underweight. Well, he goes and gets, I think, 4 or 6 cadavers, Caucasian men, and they look at these cadavers that have been dead, and think about over 100 years ago, right? We're different now. There weren't a lot of people walking around that looked like LeBron James. Today there's a lot of LeBron James as far as height. There's a lot of tall. We're just different. Everything's different. Okay. I say that because we still use what he created in the 1830s as a way to tell you if you're overweight or underweight. And you begin this conditioning and training from the time you're born, right? Because they look at your height, they look at your weight, they look at that chart, and then they kind of give you some tips and share information on whether you're doing well or not. And then as you get older, you could lose a couple pounds. The BMI is outdated, and most organizations know this. The World Health Organization knows it. The National Institute of Health knows it. Yale, Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, they all agree that the BMI is not accurate, but it's already out there, and it's a way that we collect data around the world. And then they look at that data, and then they come up with meta-analysis and all these things. But unfortunately, the person like you and I, who don't know that the BMI is outdated, we go in and the doctor is just regurgitating what he was trained on. And he's kind of looking at that as a reference to how he can encourage you to lose weight or gain weight. That's the reality. And there's a lot of amens that will come up, and there's a lot of fitness professionals. I've never met a fitness professional. I've never met someone who knows their stuff that would agree that the BMI is good. And if you are one of those people that understands that the BMI is full of crap, then please comment and help me get the word out. Endorse what I'm saying, because it's crap. And people must know this. Okay. You must know this. You know, I have a lot of friends and they are bad. I mean, look at Linda Shelton. She's like one of the main reasons why fitness is where it is today. Hall of Famer, very dear friend of mine. Ask Linda about the BMI and she'll go, oh my God. Ask Arnold Schwarzenegger about the BMI. Oh, matter of fact, according to the BMI, Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered obese. According to the BMI, Tom Cruise is overweight. According to the BMI, I am overweight, borderline obese. Come on. So, number one, we need to know that the BMI is not accurate. Okay. And we're not going to base anything off of that. Okay. 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 You know how when you go into the doctor and they say you need to lose some weight, or they give you your ideal weight, they're basing that on the BMI. So hogwash, we move on. So it's important that we know that, because the BMI is built into scales. It's talked about. It's horrible. Number two, what I want you to know is that our bodies on a minimum are made up of 50% water as it pertains to our weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, a minimum, at least 100 of the 200 pounds on the scale is water weight. Water weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, 75 of the 150 pounds is water weight. Water weight. If you weigh 300 pounds, at least 150 of the 300 pounds is water weight. Why is that important? Water can fluctuate as far as your weight on a daily basis. Pound, 2 pounds, 7 pounds. I've seen it happen. So what if you had dropped some body fat and you gained some lean, what they call lean muscle tissue, meaning your muscles are fired up and you're now burning more calories naturally. All of those positives, and you step on the scale and your weight doesn't change and you go up a pound. You are discouraged because your body's holding water, even though on the inside you're making a ton of progress. I can't tell you how many times working with someone, coaching someone, their waistline will get smaller in a week, but their weight will stay the same or go up a pound. That says a lot. And what I mean, it says that they got smaller. So I used to say all the time, like, do you want to get smaller or do you want to see the scale go down? If you had to pick one or the other, which would you want? Would you want to be smaller and look better in your clothes, or would you want to see the scale go down and not get smaller? You would want what? What? A lot of people want to see that scale go down because we're fixated on it. And I get it. So this is not a dig on anybody. This is not calling anybody stupid. The goal is to educate. We are water. So one of my coaches was working with a client, and this was a great learning experience for all of us. And I walked into the building and I saw them having a coaching session. I accidentally opened the door and we all looked at each other. We started talking. And after about 5 minutes or so, this person who had just come to meet with their coach said, today didn't go so well. And I said, well, why? She goes, well, I know I did well. I exercised. My eating was great. I'm following the diet-free life methodology. I am on point, but my weight went up a half a pound. So we started talking, and guess what we discovered? She didn't drink water all day because she wanted to have the scale be lower, right? So if I drink water, then that water's in my body, so I'm not going to drink any water all day long. She's going around smacking her lips because they're dry, because she wants to see the scale get lower. Now, that makes total sense to me. Wrestlers do it, boxers do it, people who are working to get their weight down because it's all about that scale with the weight on the scale being down. And I said, the more water you drink, the less water you hold. And the less water you drink, the more water you hold. Meaning, did you eat today? Yeah, I just didn't want to drink any water. Well, guess what? If you're not giving your body water, that slice of toast, whatever you ate that had water in it gets pulled in and your body hangs on to it. So the scale is going to probably go up by not drinking water. Think about that one. So the intellect of not drinking water, okay, so that the scale would be down, backfired. Then I had a client who had been working really hard, going for it, eating right. And I basically challenged this client. I said, look, you will win, whatever. We'll figure out something. I'll buy you a gift, you and your boyfriend. I'll treat you to dinner, wherever you want to go. if you do something for me over the next 7 days. And that was, I want you to drink 2 64-ounce of water every day and do everything else you've been doing. And I guarantee you'll be down 3 pounds. She did it. Now, I can't predict this on everybody, but I when I work with someone, the first month is called a discovery phase. So I get to discover how their body responds. I get to experience their mindset. I get to experience a whole bunch of things, and they get to experience me, and we build a relationship, right? So we go through all of that. So I had a pretty good idea that she was telling the truth about her activity, pretty good idea about her food, because I could see her food, all those things. She drank the water, and guess what happened? She was down 3 pounds. Now, it could have been 2 pounds. It could have been 4 pounds. But it woke her up to realize the importance. If you're going to step on the scale, you better drink some water. Water is your friend when you don't want to see the scale play tricks on your mind. Water is your friend. So drink up. Now, the third thing I'm going to share with you as I have a sip of water is that the average human being in North America will consume by weight 3 to 5 pounds of food. So that means every time you're going to eat, let's say you weighed your food on the scale. Every time you eat, you weighed it. At the end of the day, you're going to consume and put into your body about 3 to 5 pounds in your body. And then when it comes to water, you're going to drink about 7 to 10 pounds of water. Now, isn't that interesting? You don't hear people saying pounds when it comes to water. Well, if a cup is 8 ounces and I drink 2 cups, that's a pound. Whoa. So that means if I drink 4 cups, that's 2 pounds. So imagine, let's say you consume 8 pounds of water in the course of a day and 3 pounds of food. That's 11 pounds that you put into your body, but the next day you don't weigh 11 pounds heavier. Now you can see that as you're drinking water, you're urinating, your body's using the food that comes in. You're constantly excreting fat and energy, and your body's working. It wants to be in homeostasis. But to refrain from giving your body water, you set yourself up for the scale to do this stuff. And that ain't cool. So if you're going to get on the scale, drink water. There's something that I like when I used to work with pro boxers, and I'm going to do it again, and pro MMA artists. And at one point I was considered, one of the leading authorities in that space. My goal is to first get the boxer to make the weight, right? So let's say that when you go into a camp, you have so much time. Let's say you have 8 weeks to get them to go from, let's say, 185 or 205 pounds down to 154 pounds. I remember one time when I was working with Fernando Vargas, who's a 2-time world champion, he was 302 pounds, and I got him down to 160 pounds. He weighed in at 161 for his very last fight. Well, part of the key of making the weight is at the very end, make sure that he drinks enough water to the next day, he's going to be much leaner, lower in weight. So I'll never forget when we were getting ready to have this big fight, I came in the night before and I had 2 gallons of water. Okay. Now this is a little over the top, but you'll get the point. And I walked in and everybody's in a room. Everybody's talking and they're still new to how I work. And I go up to him and I say, hey, I need you to drink these by this time. And he goes, dude, I'm weighing in tomorrow. Now, if the boxer don't make the weight, they could lose their title belt. They could be fined $250,000 for every pound they're over the weight. Oscar De La Hoya in his last fight against Manny Pacquiao, in the contract, it says if you're overweight by 1 pound, you're going to be fined $1 million for every pound you're over the weight. So here I am with these 2 gallons of water. Drink this. And everybody's like, oh, wait, hold up. What do you mean drink that? I'm in charge of getting the weight on the scale. And I get a bonus if he's on weight. He's going to be happy. Life is going to be great. He drank the water, and guess what? We made the weight. So water is your friend. And the more water you drink, the better. Now I'm going to throw in a bonus here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. The bonus is this. Many of you who are wanting to lose weight or you get into the process of losing weight, you're not currently exercising, okay? And let's say that you haven't exercised and now you're going to push the limit. So you start exercising, you don't get on the scale because you really want to do well your next weigh-in, and you're drinking water, you're doing everything right, you're eating food, and you step on the scale, and what happens? Your weight's the same, or it goes up a pound or two. What? Why is my weight the same and I've been exercising and moving? Well, your muscles hold water because there's this thing called glycogen that was carbohydrates become glycogen inside of your muscles. So 75% of the weight of the muscle is water. Well, for every gram of carb that's stored inside of the muscle, there's 3 grams of water attached to it. So if you go from not working out, not eating right, to doing that, your muscles get full. That means you're probably going to be a little heavier with your mass. You with me on that? So you're healthier and you're smaller. How are we going to know that? We're going to know because we're looking at your body fat percentage. The goal is to get rid of the fat and to keep the lean muscle tissue. Get rid of the fat and keep the lean muscle tissue. And I know that every time I say that to a client, they can't hear me. What they can hear is a scale. So we jump up and down when the weight on the scale goes down. But if the weight on the scale doesn't really go down, but the body fat percentage goes down, and I know that they drop some body fat, I am ecstatic. The goal is to get you to become ecstatic, because dropping body fat is the ultimate goal. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better. It's the fat that is the big concern, and that's what's related to all of these growing health conditions, or many of them. So getting leaner, keeping your muscle, keeping your bones, all of that is very important. Matter of fact, even your bones are made up of water, right? 22% of your bone is water. 83% of your blood is water. And it's the blood that's carrying the nutrients in and out of the cells. Oxygen makes everything possible for you. Water it has wonders. Wonders. Drink water, do everything the way you know to do, and be consistent. Consistency is going to be king. Following through and doing it is queen. King, queen, we have a kingdom. Your body is that. Okay? It's your time to shine. So don't let the scale disrupt your motivation, cause you to lose the belief that you have inside that this is going to be possible. Drink your water. And the heavier you are, I'm going to stress, and it's the same, it's across the board, but the heavier you are, the more the weight can fluctuate. Now, this last thing I'm going to share with you is pretty funny. Then I'll take a quick look and see if there's some questions I could answer. If you got questions, I'll see if I can answer them. And I'll go back through, if you're catching me on YouTube or if you're catching this on Facebook or wherever you catch this video, and answer your questions. I had a client, okay, and this is like it's funny, and it's like every time I talk to this client, she shares things with me that's really positive, but she inspires me to want to share these kind of stories. So she actually inspired me. Her name is Jean. And thank you, Jean, for inspiring me again. So Jean and I'm coaching her, and we've been working together for about 30 days. And last week, I saw an amazing drop in her body fat percentage. Amazing. The scale didn't move as much, but I was blown away with her body fat percentage. I mean, like blown away. She had dropped 2.5% inside of like 3 weeks. That's a lot. Now that means a lot to me, and any fitness person or people who understand that, they're like going, yep, that's a lot. That was very impressive. So I'm attempting to explain that. And eventually I believe she got it. So we're motivated, we're still inspired, and we go forward. So today, this happened today. Today I'm talking to her and I'm looking, her glucose is as low as that we've seen. And when the fasting glucose is low, that's a sign that we're maximizing, we're able to expedite our ability to drop some body fat. So that's looking good. Her carb threshold index, which we do for people we work with, is going up. That's looking good. Her body fat percentage is down, looking great. And then I looked at her waist and I went, it hasn't even been a full 30 days. And this young lady is down 6 inches in her waist. But on the scale, she's down 3 pounds on the scale. She's down 3 pounds on the scale. I'm like, this is not making sense, right? And I don't think that way. Or if I have that brief moment, I go, okay, let me look into this again. Let's look into it. Well, fast forward, as I'm talking to her, we're getting ready to hang up on the phone. She says, oh yeah, sorry, I was running a little bit late or whatever the conversation was. She goes, but I did my weight and then I called you. And then we got on the phone, or she had just done her weight. And I go, what? You just did your weight? Because it's the evening. She goes, yeah, I do my weight in the evening, not first thing in the morning, because when I first started with you, I did my weight in the evening. So I figured I'll just keep doing my weight in the evening because it'll be consistent. And I get that. That makes a lot of sense. But then I was going, okay, if we can consume about 3 to 5 pounds of food a day, and she's drinking a lot of water, and she's drinking, let's say, 8, 9, 10 pounds of water a day. She was drinking water right before she got on the scale. She had eaten something right before she got on the scale. That's going to like 100% impact if her weight's up or down in the evening. It's kind of like if you came to my house right now and you stepped on the scale and you weighed 200 pounds. If I have you drink a pound of water, which is 2 cups, and step back on the scale, you're going to be 201 pounds. And if I have you drink 2 more cups of water, you're going to be 202 pounds on the scale at that moment. Now, over time, your body's going to utilize the water. It's going to evaporate. You're going to go to the restroom, blah, blah, blah. And that water, the weight on the scale will go down. But it's the weight on the scale that's messing us up. So tomorrow, I told her, send me your weight first thing in the morning before you eat or drink anything. So we have a true weight. And continue to drink water, because the more water you drink, the less water you're going to hold. And that's going to make everything that much better when you step on the scale. And when you're consistent with drinking water and you're consistent with the way you eat, we will then see consistency on you losing overall weight. Can I get an amen? Okay. Any questions, you guys? Any questions for me about what I'm talking about? Does this make sense? Okay. What's up there, Karen? Karen Murdoch. You did. Oh, now I'm not giving any, I'm not like lifting anyone up. We have this thing going on inside of our Facebook group where they're posting photos of fat burning meals. And, we're going to give an award away for who has the best fat burning meal. And diet-free life coaches are going to judge you guys, just so you know. But I'm not going to like anyone's picture because I'm going to stay neutral. And I can't wait because we're going to find out who wins. And I saw your picture. It would look pretty good. I saw it. Okay. Anyway. All right. Any questions about me? Oh, someone has a question. What's up, Wendy? Good to see you. What's up? What's up, Lacey? Oh, okay. She said, all right. So let me end with this. You can win. All you got to do is get in the game. Everybody can. And drinking water is going to help you defeat, or at least stop the scale from defeating you. So good luck, you guys. I'm not sure. Actually, maybe make a post in the comments, like what you got out of this part 1 of being able to defeat the scale, meaning we're going to break away. Okay. We don't want to be trapped anymore. The scale, it's going to take some work, but if I'm consistent with sharing this information in the sequence that it builds on each other, then it will help you break away from the scale and know that the scale is not the ultimate driver on whether or not you're making progress. It's how you feel, how your body feels. Keep a close eye on your waistline. That is like If there's one measurement, it would be waistline. If there's one measurement, it would be waistline. Okay. So anyway, I'm done. You guys have a great evening, a good day. And do me a favor, share this with people. You know, Jack LaLanne, when I spent time with him, used to always say, and he said it like every time I was around him, Robert, if you're excited about something, don't keep it a secret. I'm excited about helping people be healthy. I'm excited about the fact that you can eat carbs and lose weight and keep eating carbs without gaining weight. I'm excited about being excited. So share this with other people so they can get the information the same way you're getting it. And when you see me do part 2 or part 3 or part 4, share that. Use Facebook as a tool to make it where people can be informed. Because in closing, whenever I'm asked, like, what is the biggest problem that we have when it comes to getting everybody healthier? I would say, and I hate saying it sometimes, and I don't mean to be rude, but the biggest problem we have is that the uninformed, which is most of us, are being influenced by the misinformed. So at the end of the day, we must take control of it, and we must be informed. And when you're informed, you can't be misinformed, right? It's like my favorite book says that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. When it comes to nutrition and health and taking care of ourselves, if you're not in the know, you can almost fall for anything. And that's why sometimes people who talk the loudest, they have that energy, they can influence you because you don't know that they don't know. And if you have a trainer and they haven't been looking at your body fat percentage and informing you of that, then bring it to their attention. It's not just about the scale. It's about that. Okay. So you guys have a good one. Thank you. God bless you. And until the next time.